Hello and welcome to my channel. In this video I'm just going to carry on with what I've been doing for the last couple of videos of mine, basically just talking about Surah Baqarah, the cow. I'll just go through each verse in English and then have a bit of a commentary, say an explanation of what these verses mean and how we can have a practical understanding of these verses in our lives, right? So I'll get started with verse 91 and without further ado, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. When it is said to them, believe in what God has sent down, they say, we believe in what was sent down to us, yet they reject all besides, even it be the truth confirming what is with them. Say, why have you slain the prophets of God in times gone by, if you did indeed believe? So there's a bit in this verse. Basically, this is saying that the Bnei Israel, when they say we believe in what has been sent down to us, they believe in the Torah, essentially, but they reject what has come after that, the Injil and the Qur'an. And basically it's confirming the revelation that they already have with them, but they essentially hold on to the Torah and they reject the further revelations, right? And this is also saying why have they slain the prophets if they believed? This is not an evidence of faith, right? So that's the first verse. Now the next verse, then came to you Moses with clear signs, yet you worshipped the calf even after that, and you did behave wrongfully. So basically Musa came to them, and in his absence, when he went up to Sinai, they took to worshipping a calf, essentially a statue of a calf, right? We know the story. So the next verse, and remember we took your covenant and we raised above you the towering heights of Mount Sinai, saying, hold firmly to what we have given you and hearken to the law. They said, we hear and we disobey. And they had to drink into their hearts the taint of the calf because of their faithlessness. Say, vile indeed are the behests of your faith if you have any faith. So essentially, the Tower of Sinai was raised over the Bnei Israel, and when it came to obey the command of God, they said, we hear you, Allah, but we disobey. So essentially, they had to take into their hearts the taints of the shirk that they took into themselves when they worshipped the cow, right? So the next verse, say, if the last home with God be for you specially and not for anyone else, then seek you for death if you are sincere. So I mean, this doesn't need much explanation to it. It's essentially an assertion saying that if the Bnei Israel think that they are the only ones going to paradise and no one else is, this is saying seek for death, essentially, because I mean it's not, and we know it. So that's that verse. And the next verse, but they will never seek for death on account of the sins which their hand have sent on before them, for God is well acquainted with the wrongdoers. So they won't do this, and this might be because of the sin that they have accumulated on account of what they've done in their lives, essentially. So the next verse, you will indeed find them of all people most greedy of life, even more than the idolaters. Each one of them wishes he could be given a life of 1,000 years, but the grant of such life will not save him from due punishment, for God sees well all that they do. So basically, the Bnei Israel, they wish that they could live 1,000 years, essentially. And even if they had a life of 1,000 years, they still wouldn't essentially come around. And Allah is the all-seeing. He knows the evidence of their actions and how they treat revelation, right? So the next verse, say, whoever is an enemy to Gabriel, for he brings down the revelation to your heart by God's will, a confirmation of what went before, and guidance and glad tidings for those who believe. So basically, the Bnei Israel, they basically said that Gabriel was the enemy, and basically I think this is because the revelation that was brought down to Muhammad, peace be upon him, by Gabriel, it essentially didn't speak so kindly in their favor. It was essentially telling the whole world about what their actions are like, and they essentially said that that they didn't take the authority of Gabriel, essentially. So the next verse, whoever is an enemy to God and his angels and messengers, to Gabriel and Michael, lo, God is an enemy to those who reject faith. So this is just saying that whoever's an enemy to Allah and an enemy to his angels, Gabriel and Michael, Allah is essentially not on their side, right? So the next verse, we've sent down to manifest signs, ayah, and none reject them but those who are perverse. So basically, they've been given signs manifest, signs that are so obvious, and the only ones who are going to reject these signs are those who have a sickness in their hearts, right? So that's that verse, and then the next verse, is it not the case that every time they make a covenant, some party among them throw it aside? Nay, most of them are faithless. So basically, it's been proven in the past that when they make a covenant, a lot of them, they essentially forget about it, and they essentially take the good part, which is that they are Allah's chosen, and they forget the part where they actually have to do good things, believe, everything else that goes along with actually being a believer, right? So that's that verse, and that's the next 10 verses from Baqarah. It's just a short video. There's not too much to these verses. They're quite straightforward, but hopefully everyone is gaining some kind of insight into the Quran from listening to these videos and hearing my commentary. So stay tuned. I'll keep posting these videos until I finish Baqarah, and then we'll see what we can do after that. So thank you very much, and stay tuned for more. Cheers.